Perfect day, saints. My name is Gladys. So today I'm here to share my testimony about the role for all nations from our church, from our ecclesia in Maitland by Pastor John. So we had a great, it was beautiful. It was a great time. We had a beautiful time where we were praying for our nations. It was lovely, and we are so grateful. Actually, I should actually start with saying thank you to Mama Ola and Papa Pastor John, the born servant of Christ, and Mama Ola for them actually answering the call of God on their lives, in order for many of us to be able to know the Lord the way that we know God now. It's great, it's awesome, it's a testimony for another day. But today I just want to talk about what happened at the Roar for All Nations. So that day when we were praying, it was so lovely. We were rolling and fighting. Obviously, rolling is a war. We are fighting and we are rolling there. It was wonderful and everything. So usually when you are waging war spiritually, you get to get visions. And most of the times when you get a vision, you are like, sometimes you ask yourself, is it me or what? But I know when I get a vision from the Lord, usually I know that this is now God showing me something, because you cannot get a something like you cannot get a vision whereby that thing is like right in front of your face and it's there like it's so real. So that day when we were rolling, I kept seeing the map of my country, Zambia, because we're from Zambia. So I kept seeing the map of Zambia. But what I saw was the map of Zambia. And then when you get a paper and you put maybe on the corner of a paper, you light it up. So it will burn, it will start burning from that corner, it will go up, and everything is burnt. So I kept seeing the map of Zambia being burnt with like a fire that was lit. Then it will burn from that corner, it will burn until the whole map is filled with it's lit up with like a whole fire over the map. And then before that, actually, what was saw was a ball of fire over the map of Zambia, whereby it was like a ball, like a whirlwind. A whirlwind that was going around and around and around. It was coming down on the map, coming down on the map, coming down. And then when it came down on the map, it started like burning and the whole map was on fire. And actually, I was sitting next to a friend of mine. She was having my Zambian flag. Then I was having a South African flag, because obviously we've been here for the longest time and it's our home. So we obviously represented South Africa and Zambia, because if we don't pray for this nation, we are here, this is our home. If things don't go well, that means it doesn't go well for us. So we consider this our home. So I had two flags. So the one flag, my friend took it from Zambia, she took it. So I just grabbed it from her. When we are busy rolling and praying, you're in the spirit. I grabbed it from her and I was just going around like this with the flag around like this. But in the spirit, I was actually following the movement of the whirlwind, coming from up until coming down like this. So later on, I actually had to explain to her that what happened, that when we were rolling, this is what happened. That's why I grabbed the flag from you. I'm sure she was wondering, like, oh, and now are you grabbing your flag from me and everything? So so that's what happened. And I believe that the fire of God is upon the nation of Zambia. Not only the nation of Zambia. God showed me Zambia because that's where I am from. But I believe there's so many other testimonies. People saw so much over their nations and everything. So I am so grateful to the Lord for that. Because visions, at first when I started seeing visions in church, I used to think, sometimes I just want to encourage even people out there. Sometimes when the Lord starts showing you things, like visually, you start seeing visions, you tend to think it's you. But the reason why I'm so confident whenever I see a vision, I know this is God and this is from the Lord, is the first time I went to the ministers' conference by Pastor John. The first time at the ministers' conference, that was 2020. This is 2024. 2024, 2023. The first time, the vision that I saw was there was like when somebody brings a truck, like a whole truck of loaded with so many goodies, and then they are giving everyone like a parcel. You know, when the parcels are nicely packed, and then they're giving everyone was getting a parcel, and then it was like an overwhelming overload of the gifts, so much that instead of now giving each one a parcel, they started, pouring. The whole load would be just being poured on everyone. And then the same day I saw, before the bond servant came in the service, we were praying. I think we were having praise and worship. I saw a trophy, like a beautiful trophy. It was just in my face, a trophy, a trophy, a trophy. So when the bond servant came, when he was praying, he said everyone who came to this conference received a trophy. So for me, it was confirmation that what I kept seeing was actually God showing me. So whenever you are praying or whenever you get a vision, it's very vivid. It's so much in your face, and it's there. It will be like so intense. Just know it's the Lord. Our minds play with us most of the times. You think, I think it was just my mind. It was just my mind. But just remember, when the Lord gives you a vision, it will be very vivid. It will be very intense. It will be there in front of you. You just know this is from God. So that's what I saw. And I'm so grateful to the Lord because I know that God has started a great thing in all the nations, not only Zambia, but all the nations of the world, because we're rolling for all the nations, and we are one people. We are the sons of God. We're the children of the Lord. We are the sons of the Lord. We are one. We are united. We have one God. We're one Spirit, and one Yeshua. Yeah, the Trinity belongs to all of us as the children of God. So I'm so grateful to the Lord for that vision. And then actually, I also want to talk about the day when when the bond servant was, actually launching the mandate of war. He was launching us into the realms as warriors. So what happened that day? When he called the first, I belong to Marine, but Marine and Air Force is the same. At first I used to get confused. I'm like, but I'm so drawn to Air Force, whereby my dreams are when the bond servant started teaching us about Air Force, Marine, and Land Force. I started having the dreams whereby I would see myself warring or fighting, but every fight that I had was in the air. It was not really in the air, but it was always like in a high up place, in a building high. Everything was always high up there, somewhere in a high, very very high building. So I was like, I think I belong to Air Force. So I was so convinced. But as I kept praying, and then the day of the law, or when the bond servant was actually launching us into the groups where we belong, then I got very convinced. I actually stayed first service. I was like, I'm Air Force. Then I got very convinced that actually in the second service when he explained that if you've been oppressed by Marine, just know that you belong to Marine, meaning you have been oppressed and you have overcome. That means you are a soldier there. You are going to fight there. You are called to fight there because you've been a victim and you've overcome. So meaning that is where you belong. So that's how come I got convinced, because for so many years I actually suffered with Marine or spiritual husband and everything that comes with Marine spirit and everything for so many years. So when he said that, I really got convinced, because before that I used to dream snakes. It's snakes every time, snakes. But obviously when I started going to SRE, it stopped. I don't see the snakes anymore. I've been delivered from spirit husband and everything. But I understood that because of that, obviously when you have overcome, then you qualify. You have more authority over that spirit that has been oppressing you, because you've overcome. You're able to fight because you are on that high level. So that day when the bond servant was launching us into our different groups where we belong, so when he called he prayed for us, the Marine, After that, he called, obviously, the Marine. We had to stand again with the Air Force. So when I stood with the Air Force, and then when he was praying, obviously, when he was praying for us, I found myself down on the floor. And then I saw myself sitting, like, you know, when you are sitting, like when you are sitting with your legs folded, and then you put your head over your legs like this. I was sitting like this with my head on my legs. But there were people, you know, when there was like a you imagine a picture of people who are, when they are enchanting, you know, those people who do rituals, they are enchanting, they are they were wearing gowns with their heads covered, but they were enchanting over my head, you know, and I was sitting with my head down there and enchanting and chanting and chanting and enchanting. And then like somebody was saying to me, this is how you've been all the years, this is how you've been. And then from there I stood, like I stood and I was rolling, and while I was rolling, I was like releasing fire over those people. They were like obviously it was like a shape of a person. I started releasing fire over them. I released fire over them and they scattered. And then after that, in the same vision, I saw my family, like my siblings. Each and every one of them, they had like a snake. You know, a snake. It was like this from their back, but it would be like this sitting by their neck like this. So I saw each and every one of my siblings with a snake over their backs. And there I was on the floor and I was rolling and I was rolling out. And the bond servant was praying. While he was praying, I was rolling and rolling. And each time that I was rolling, the snakes, like they climbed down. They went down from everyone. And then I had like a sword and I chopped them. Chop, 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 all of them. Then I saw my mom. She had like the biggest of the biggest, like a big snake over her, but it was like a crown. It looked like a crown over her. But that one I fought, it was intense. I fought with it and I couldn't like cut it with a sword. But in my rolling, I knew that I released fire over it, and I know that I got victory over it. And at the same time, when the bond servant called the land force, now we're praying, then he started worshiping, and then he started singing a song. I can't remember the song he was singing, but he started singing and singing a song. And then I just found myself praying, and I found myself on the floor, and I saw the biggest of the biggest of the biggest, the hugest hands that I've never seen. It was like the hands that was covering the whole church, the whole auditorium, like this, you know, protectively, like this. But they were huge, but those hands were covering the whole auditorium. But they were so huge, I couldn't even contain myself, because I knew this is the hand of the Lord over all of us as the children of God. It was when you see the Lord, when you see anything concerning the Lord, it's this body cannot carry it. It cannot. So I'm so grateful for the visions of the Lord. And most of the visions, actually, another thing, most of the visions that I've started seeing, because it's like after 2023, in between, it's like I almost was losing the vision. I didn't see. I was struggling with my dreams and everything, to remember and everything. But one day, the bond servant, like a few weeks before that, the bond servant was praying in the church, and he I would say he located me, because he started praying, started coming in between and praying for people. And he came in, touched my face, like literally he touched my face. Obviously, he was praying for my vision, and from that day, my visions are so, yeah. I like, my visions came back. I used to see before, but it was like somewhere in between it, and then my visions came back that I'm able to see again, and I'm so grateful to the Lord. And the other encouragement that I can give to you, is that the things of God, we need to charge them. Like your phone, you charge your phone. If you don't charge with prayer, if you don't charge with being conscious that I'm a child of God, I must walk right, upright, holiness, purity, righteousness, you will lose them. Because most of the times I do see that when I just relax a little bit, I tend to feel like I'm losing out I'm losing something, and it's a struggle for me to actually to be able to see visions, to be able to understand my dreams and everything. So let's keep charging our battery by always praying constantly and consistently. Thank you so much. See you in the realms.